Hi guys, this is Aro again. Thank you for joining me in my second episode. I am thrilled that there is a second episode. I didn't expect even 10 views. I think I said that in the first video that I thought maybe some of my friends on Instagram will watch, maybe, but the response I've gotten has been overwhelming and I feel so loved, and I love that you guys want to see more of my yarn. That brings me to today's episode. It's Flash My Stash, but because my stash is so ridiculously large, I'm only going to do one square at a time. My favorite square is where I'd start. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw in my stories that I did have an option where you could vote on 1, 2, 3. It was pretty tied between 2 and 3, but since 2 is my favorite, I thought I would share some of that. I'll first talk about, first I want to talk about this sweater, and then I'll talk about some recent knits that I finished, and we'll get right into the yarn because that was the most popular request of all the comments, messages on Instagram, which by the way, I appreciate and love every single one of you who watched, liked, subscribed, commented, shared, whatever. Like, I've just been so blown away, and not to be dramatic, but I would die for every single one of you. So yeah, most popular requests. So that's what we're doing. To talk about the recent knits that I finished, I went a little bit crazy with this pattern. I talked about it last week. The oat. I finished it. I still haven't figured out spacing. But this is the Oat Sweater by Annie Haas, or This Bird Knits. And you can see here the sleeve detailing. It's kind of got a little eyelet lace action going on the sleeve. And again, this is in Wandering Flock MCN DK. I always choose to leave the little collar wispies hanging on there because it helps me know where the back is. And I've seen people who do like a cute little I-cord. I've seen people who do a cute little like sewn patch. But the thing is, I am really lazy, and by the time I'm thinking about, how do I wear it, where's the back, I am ready to move on to the next project. So that's why I just leave the little wispies, because they're easy and cheap. But anyway, this pattern isn't coming out for a long time. I don't even think Annie has even finalized the name for it. So when I say the oat sweater, that's just what it's called in test knit. I don't know if that's going to be the final sweater or not, or final name or not. So again, I will link her profile if you aren't following her already, or signed up for her updates on Ravelry. Go ahead and do that because she's an amazing designer. And seriously, this sweater took me 4.5 days, maybe 5 days tops, just because it was so fun to knit and it was so quick. I felt amazing afterwards just to get something done. I have the finished object photos for it already, and I'm really excited to share it because it's so comfortable and wearable. I wore it with slightly tucked in the front, which I normally don't do because I am a lazy person. But I tucked it in slightly in the front with a short A-line skirt denim, and it looks adorable, especially with this color. And I'm glad I skipped the mohair because I really think it would have changed the color, and look at that. I hope the color comes out well because it is moody as all heck outside. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because the weather was bumming me out. So I did all my makeup, and I'm sitting here hoping that my yarn joy brings you guys some yarn joy. Okay, then that brings me to the second sweater that I finished. This was finished when I filmed last week. It was just next to me on the floor wet. This is the sweater I was yelling at. Isn't it cute? This is Hide and Peek sweater by Max the Knitter. You may know Max for Once in Floral, or I think it's Foxtails, the one with the little foxes on the yoke. He does such amazing patterns. Isn't it beautiful? I chose a muted colorway. The colors that I chose are from Camellia Fibers. I love that brand because one, she uses natural dyes. She has a very muted aesthetic. It's consistent. She has really good business philosophy that I like, and she's Korean. She's a Korean immigrant just like me, so solidarity. Anyway, this is a really cute sweater pattern. He uses Farmer's Daughter, their sport weight. I think it starts with an R. I should have looked that up. But anyway, the yoke is really quick. Max's patterns are always great. And one thing I did want to bring up is I used a special technique, which if I could show you. So for the long float sections, I catch my floats in the back like this. I hope you can see very clearly. It's kind of like a crochet ladder back. I've heard it called ladder back catch. I've heard it called crochet catch. I had never seen that particular technique before until I did Criterion. And that's why I have my Criterion out here. But you can see like these long float sections. It would have been a lot to catch the floats just because you have to do them in different spots if you do it the traditional catching method, because it'll peek out when you do color work. I'm sure if you do color work, you're familiar with this already. But anyway, so this is my Criterion from last year. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may remember this. But the reason that I brought it out was because the Criterion pattern is where I first learned this technique. Woolen Pine, who designed this, that's a collaboration between Dank Fibers and Abby Knits. They made this pattern and included a video as well as written instructions on how to do this technique. And that is the only place I've ever seen mention the technique, explain it. I've tried to find it other places, I just can't. So the Criterion's pattern, it's amazing. I highly recommend it. And honestly, I would pay for the pattern just to learn that technique. Because if you're someone like me who does color work a lot, the float catching technique, it can really just, it saves you a big old headache. And it makes your finished object look really seamless. Like, you cannot see where I caught it. Like, you can see a little bit of a gauge difference, and that's just because I didn't block it very well. But in my Criterion, the only reason you could possibly see it peeking out is because my contrast color is so glaringly different from my main color. And that's just because I wanted a punchy color. That's my own dang fault. But really, it's a great technique. I highly recommend it. Criterion from Woolen Pine, worth it just for that technique. And of course, my Hide and Peak sweater by Max, which is coming out May 6th. Mark your calendars, May 6th. I'm super excited about it. I love working with Max, and I'm actually working on a secret test knit for him. No spoilers, I will not give you any spoilers, but it uses a new base from one of both of our favorite dyers, and I'm so excited. I'm making good progress. I can't wait to show you guys. Anyway, so those are the sweaters I did since the last time I filmed. I'll briefly talk about this one. This is by Sari Nordlund, and it's called the Urban Adventurer. I wear it mostly indoors though. I don't really go out in the urban adventure. It's more like a cozy adventure. But anyway, I knit the main color. I knit this, I guess a couple months ago. It was really quick, so quick. This kind of orangey beige color. I know colors, that's fine. The kind of orangey one, it's Eloise by Stress Knits in worsted. The contrast color is, it's Stash Quince from a long time ago in Lark. I don't want to publicize that. I won't. Anyway, it was in my stash. And the color work itself is really quick, really cute. I love it. The main color is Amano Puna Warmy, which I believe is the worsted or Aran weight. And it's alpaca mostly, and it's so cozy. I feel so luxurious. I love it. Anyway, super comfortable, and it's the perfect sweater for this horrible weather we are having. I really just wanted to wear this, well, not just. I wanted to wear this mainly because it matches my lipstick. This is my power color. I put this on when I get mad or sad. And like I said, the weather is just awful. Okay, so this brings me to my cheer up solution, which is yarn. As always, everyone's yarn stash is different. I like looking at other people's yarn stashes, and it seems like you guys want to see mine, so that's the only reason I'm doing this. I don't want to like show off any rare dyers. It's not like a competition. It's just my stash is something I love and curate, so that's why I'm sharing it. I'll show you guys the commercial yarn I have first. I don't have a lot. And again, this is based on a certain palette. I'll show you some exceptions because they recently came in, or just because they're kind of minis and they don't really fit in anywhere. So I'll show you the commercial stuff first. And everything I show you, I have sweater quantity of. It's just I can't hold all of the sweater quantity in my arm without it being really awkward. So without further ado, this is Berroco Mochi. You may have seen this a lot. I posted about this in my Instagram stories and a bunch of my followers are like, what is that? I'm getting it now. It's really, really beautiful. The lighting, again, because of the horrible weather, pardon me, it's coming up a little bit more yellow, but it's actually this really, really, really soft pink with little speckles and of course dog hair because that's my life. But it's a heavier worsted, maybe closer to Aran weight if you really think about the halo. I'm really excited to use it. I have a bunch. I think it's going to be a Felix pullover. At least that's what I got it for. We'll see if that is what it stays as. When I buy yarns, I try to buy with a specific project in mind. The only time I don't really do that is with fingering weight, because most fingering weight sweaters will, if it's a full length sweater, I'll just need 3 skeins. So I just get 3 skeins and expect that designers will come out with patterns eventually. And that hasn't done me a disservice yet. So just to clarify, sometimes I'll mention if I have a specific project in mind, but sometimes I don't. But that's what's happening. Okay, so this is the other commercial yarn. It's a little bit, it feels weird to say, but like, you know, of the commercial yarn, there's like commercial and then slightly more indie commercial. Berroco is definitely commercial, but this is a little bit more indie commercial. This is Biche Bouche again, Biche Bouche. And again, if I mispronounce something, I apologize. This color, again, I wish it wasn't so yellow out. It's really a very, very delicate soft pink. It's almost the same color as the Knitting for Olive Mohair I showed you guys last time in the colorway Cloud. It's off-white, just barely pink. It's stunning. I really wish I had a different light other than the natural window filtering in. But anyway, it's beautiful. I can't wait to make something out of it. We'll see what it becomes. I have made no commitments on that. Then I'll talk about my new stuff. So these 2 skeins, again, they're more pink than they are in what I have for Natural Light right now. But this is from Polka Dot Sheep. It's carried by my local yarn store to me in Salt Lake City, Blazing Needles. And they've carried Polka Dot Sheep probably since December of last year. But this is a new colorway they got. And it's called Eureka. And it's stunning. I actually, this one, where is it? There's speckles on this sucker. Yeah, there's speckles there. It's interspersed throughout the other skein as well, but that's just a more visible portion that I thought I would show you guys. There's something called the Blooming Dream Top, hashtag Blooming Dream Top, by Camille Knits. And again, I'll link all these designers and dyers. But if you haven't seen it yet, it's the most amazing design I've ever seen. Like, it's one of those designs that gets like me excited because it's short sleeve and it has lace detailing down the sides. The key focal point, however, is the back. It is an open teardrop back with a ribbon above it. And it is probably the most delicate, feminine, beautiful thing I've seen in a long time. It made me so excited that I know how to knit because I'm going to make that. It's so beautiful. And I think this delicate peony color is the perfect choice for it. So that's what it will become. I'm going to make it. I've committed because I put it on the internet. Then in terms of new stuff, Kinetic Knitter. The Kinetic Knitter. She is a smaller dyer and I followed her for a very long time, but I haven't been fortunate to get anything from her updates because she's a smaller dyer, so she does a lot of different colors, but small batches at a time. And I've never been able to get a sweater quantity from her, which is what, you know, as a garment dyer or garment knitter, that's what I need, sweater quantity. And she didn't do it, she hasn't had any for a really, really long time since I've been following her. But last month or so, maybe before that, she recently opened up pre-orders for the first time. And I was over the moon. I got 10 skeins of DK. Anyway, this is one of the colorways I got. It's called Serendipitous. And this is the like the main reason I first started following her. It's this delicate pinky mauve. I expected it to be a little bit more neutral tan, like how it shows in the video actually, but it's much more pink than it's showing. And the speckles are really gorgeous because there's an amazing depth with the speckle colors. Like it's very brown in spots, but then it has specks of red and orange and purple. Like here you could see, oh, I had it there. Like there's a lot of depth in this, or at least there is in person. I'm gonna stop lamenting about the lighting being so yellow. Anyway, so this is something I'm really excited about. She did a sample in the same colorway using this color for Jessie May Ripple, the worsted tee, Ripple crop top worsted, right? Yeah. It's why I fell in love with the color, and I think that's what it's gonna be. I just really like it. I think the speckles will look really good in the rib. And the other sweater quantity I got was this as the contrast color and these as the main color. It'll be a Wildwood. I wish I could remember the designer now. Again, I'll post everything on Ravelry, or links on Ravelry. And if it's not, I always try to find other options than Ravelry for people who the site is no longer accessible for. I'm going to try and find, like, if the designer has an individual web page or another resource possible. If I don't include it, that's the reason why. I just couldn't find any other option. It's not that I'm not putting in the effort. I just want to make that clear. So I apologize if it's not accessible to you. I'm going to do everything I can to try and find an accessible link. But if I can't, it's not because I didn't try. Okay, but anyway, this color is called Fall Year Round, and it is deep burgundy, which actually really suits well for today's doom and gloom. But you can see these like flecks of orange, and these variegations I think are soft enough that it will blend really nicely even in color work. And the contrast color is called Softer Softest. It's more purple than I expected. I thought it would be a little bit more neutral, but I still think it looks nice held to it. And the benefit of having such a large stash, such as I do, that's English, right? Yeah, anyway, the benefit of having such a large stash is sometimes if a color that I get isn't perfect, chances are I do have another skein that can work even better, and I might. If you hear weird sounds throughout, it's because my dog is sleeping on the couch next to me, and she's a very vocal everything, vocal eater, vocal sleeper, just the worst. Anyway, yeah, I'm talking about you, sorry. This brings me to the minis. I'll get into the minis now. So this is one set that I'm really excited about. I say it's a set, but it's a set that I have curated. So these are half skeins. Yes, half skeins from Stress Knits, and you'll see that I have so much of her yarns in the full size later, but I really adore her color palette, Stacey Elstone. She also has a YouTube. She's one of the first like knitting YouTube things that I watched, so I credit her with inspiring me to start my own. But I really do love her aesthetic, and like, come on, that's beautiful. She's one of the very, very few dyers that offers half skeins, which is really great for me as a garment knitter who does a lot of color work, because a lot of times I don't need a full skein and I'm just left with like, okay, great, what do I do with this? So the half skein option is amazing. And she even does DK half skeins, and she's the only dyer I know that does that. Yeah, like I'm gonna make a striped sweater in this palette, and I think it's gonna be like slightly desert sunset inspired. I don't know, I just really love it. I hope you guys like it too. Then in terms of other minis, I have this guy. This is actually a set of DK minis that my friend Nicole Greentree sent me from Australia that she dyed herself. And to commemorate the Australianness of it, it's like a ribbon with like koalas and opossums and other kangaroos. There's a kangaroo there, like with little Christmas hats, because Australian Christmas. I thought it was adorable. I think it's super cute. Yeah, we did a fiber swap. I did a fiber swap with a few Instagram friends last year. I'm hoping to do some more before the summer, just because I really like gift giving. And when FiberShare kind of had to shut down essentially because of the pandemic, it really bummed me out because I was really looking forward to the holiday round, because I love the holidays. Anyway, so this FiberShare swap was a good opportunity for me to share some yarn goodness with my friends and for them to share some yarn goodness with me. Like, how cute is that? That is stinking cute. Then I have a mini set from Twill and Print. This is, I think it's called Hivernail, her winter collection. You may know Twill and Print better for the really, really cute enamel pins and like knitting row counters that you see on, you've probably seen on Instagram and Etsy. I love her. I also test knit the Morning Cuppa sweater for her. It was her first sweater design, and it's basically like sheep with like a teacup. I should have brought it here. Anyway, she's a really great person, great maker. She's gotten into yarn dyeing and I wanted to support her. I have a few colors from her actually, but the mini set was really cute. Then I have a mini set from Explorer Knits. I don't know what it's going to be. I was just lucky in getting this, that I happened to be on Instagram as soon as she posted that these were available. I saw it within 20 seconds of her posting it, just by luck. And without thinking, I got it, because when you know you might get Explorer Knits, you're gonna try and get Explorer Knits, and I got it. So that's what that is. Again, I don't know what it's gonna be yet. I just like having it right now. And maybe one day I will knit striped socks, which I doubt because I don't knit socks. Anyway, so that's the minis. Now I can get to the big stuff. There's a lot. I tried to organize it by dyer, but it may not be very as organized, because it's literally like I pulled out all the yarn and I threw it on the floor next to me. And I'm going to try and put it back as I go, just so I'm not like scrounging while I'm filming, but we will see how this goes. This is an organic process, just like everything I do. Okay, so these two skeins are Woolen Boon. They are on a very light pink base with brown, pink, speckles, brown, black, and I guess even a little bit of purple. But Woolen Boon, I believe, is still Austin based, but this was at a time when it was very difficult to find her yarns. I won't really get into the reasons why. If you want to know, you can kind of follow her and follow the knitting gossip. But I only got two skeins because they were on sale at a local yarn shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Loops. And I think it'll probably just have to be a ripple bralette if it's anything garment-like in DK weight with just two skeins. That's probably what it's gonna have to be. But I really do love this color. Again, you guys know I love pink speckles. And I'm going to try and find a way to make this visual more pink, or at least neutral. Again, sorry, I said I would stop complaining about it. I'm going to stop complaining about it. Anyway, Woolen Boon, yes. Okay, then this brings me to, I have more slub yarn from Hello Stella. I got this on sale from Shop La Mercerie. Again, if I mispronounce anything, like, my bad. I don't know any better. I speak many languages, but French is not one of them, and I apologize. But yeah, Hello Stella, it's slub yarn. I think I'm gonna hold it with a fingering just because I'm not a huge fan of the way slub looks by itself. I think it looks a little bit too crinkly in the main portions, because you can see here, like, besides the slubby bits, the yarn is naturally coiled, and it's not my favorite look by itself. So I'm just gonna hold it with something, maybe a suri, or just fingering weight again. And real quick, let's talk about the other. I have 3 of these. Where's the other one? This is the problem when you just throw your yarn on the floor. So I have 3 of these, but this is the Red Pansy. She is a small dyer, and Kelly is her name. She's a good friend of mine. I really fell in love with this color. As you can see, it's very me. It's speckly and it's pink. Like, the colorway is called Peaches and Cream, and that is like the perfect peach pink for me. I love this. I'm so excited about it. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. I actually just ordered the same colorway in Kelly's recent I'm sorry, there's like a hair on my face and it's itching me. Sorry. Okay, I recently ordered the same yarn colorway, but on Surrey base, and I'm gonna hold it with the slub to achieve the look that I was talking about. I think the pink, while it's stunning, I think the Surrey will soften the pop of the pink just a tiny bit. Anyway, I'm really excited about it. I do love this color, and the red pansy, she's amazing. Oftentimes if you DM her, like if you need a specific quantity, if you DM her, she'll respond to you and let you know like if she can do a special order for you. At least she has for me in the past. I special ordered her a lot. Anyway, it's a great color, Peaches and Cream. Highly recommend it. That brings me to... Okay, you may have seen the label already, and the people who are also obsessed with indie dyers already know after seeing that we have a problem. Like, I know you know. So this is from Cat Sandwich Fibers. Yeah, the plan was, well, I didn't have a plan when I first got it because I wanted Cat Sandwich Fibers back when she was like one of the biggest dyers out there. I want to say probably 8-9 years ago. Yeah. And she had a little bit of a burnout, and she's taken a step back from Instagram. She's taken a step back from a lot of shop updates, at least the really, really overwhelming ones. And mad respect to her. I respect anyone who runs a small business, and she's decided to kind of scale back. So I kind of thought that maybe I'll never get her yarns. I'm just gonna look at her old pictures and miss it. But when last winter, I checked her website just on a whim. I hadn't checked her website in like 6 years, literally 6 years. And on a whim, I checked and she was in stock with these. And obviously this pink is hot pink. It's gonna be a contrast color. I can't do this as a main color. I'm not that brave. But this color is absolutely me. It is white, sometimes just off-white yellow, sometimes just off-white pink, and it has rainbowy speckles. Like, this was screaming my name. This colorway is called Touch of Nutmeg. Nutmeg. I say things weird. But you can see there's a little bit of brown speckles in there, but really it's just rainbow speckles, and that's my jam. So I'm really excited to have this. Like I said, I wanted her for many, many years, and she is a Korean dyer, and I do like supporting my sisters. Yeah. Then this is, you probably already saw the label, this is Lola Bean. Lola Bean! I have not been fortunate enough yet to get one of her updates. This was actually one of those fiber share gifts. My friend Kiki of You Not Me, You Not with a K, like knitting. She's amazing, and we decided to do a fiber swap. And when I got this from her, like, I opened up the package. I was in the hallway of my apartment and I literally screamed because I was so excited, because not only is this a dyer that I have long coveted and wanted, but this color is so aggressively me. Like, it's definitely a little bit more bubblegum pink than my palette normally suggests, but I actually like love this color, and I can't wait to make something out of it. I thought originally I might do the Flutter Butt shirt by Jessie May that just came out, but I'm not 100% sure I want to do that, just because I've seen the flutters look different on certain people's samples, and I don't know. I haven't made my mind about it because I love this yarn so much, and I want to find the perfect garment for it to become. But that's Lola Bean. I'm so excited to have it in my stash. And another fiber swap gift I got was from my friends Marissa and Alicia. They are twins who live in Austin, and they both knit. We hung out a lot when I lived in Austin, and I miss them terribly, but we message each other all the time, and they're usually judging me for signing up for so many test knits. So Marissa and Alicia, if you're watching this, I still love you for the fiber swap we did, but please stop judging me. They're also the ones who frequently tell me that I knit like a serial killer and I'm just super aggressive when I knit. And they're not exactly wrong, but it's not nice. It's not nice. Anyway, this is vintage Suburban Stitcher. And you can tell it's vintage because this is the old label. She still does this colorway. This is called Predictability. And currently, the one I have now is obviously a little bit more purple and a little bit more heavily speckled than the current iterations I've seen of the color, but it's still beautiful. Like, I'm really excited to have this because I do love Suburban Stitcher, even if I said her name wrong multiple times in the last video, which was really weird because I said it right the first time. But anyway, vintage Suburban Stitcher, Predictability. It's my favorite base, not the name of Stress Knit's favorite base, but it's 100% superwash merino, and it's 438 yards. This and 75-25 merino nylon. Those are my favorite bases. Because I love the twist on it. It feels springy and it takes dye beautifully. It's just my favorite. Some people prefer more rustic yarns. I am not one of them. All respect to any personal preferences, but my personal preference is superwash, and I just like the crisp cleanness of it. Another set they gave me in the fiber swap, Marissa and Alicia, they gave me this. And this is October House. I believe October House is based out of the UK. They are carried by Hill Country Weavers, or at least they were. Sorry, I have the hair on my mouth. Did I just mess up everything? No, okay. I'm so awkward. Anyway, this is called Broken Rose, the colorway. And I'm really excited because I used October House last year on the twill and print sweater that I was just talking about, but I didn't show you. But I really love the feel of this yarn. This is also 75-25, 75 merino, 25 nylon, but it's 460 yards and it feels gorgeous and it takes color beautifully. Yes, I love it. I think I might actually, don't hold me to it, you guys, but I'm thinking about designing my own top. I'll probably release it in the summer, but I've sketched it out and I'm gonna start knitting up a sample soon. Don't hold me to it, but that's what I'm planning on, and I might use that because I love the color. It's this delicate, springy, summery petal color, which I'm all about. The next is from Knox Yarn Co. Knox was really big a few years ago, but she also had to step back from all the crazy Instagram updates and the social media, and I think a few years ago, because she had her first child. And mad respect to anyone running a small business, and mad respect to anyone running a small business with a child growing family. That's nuts. But this colorway is called The Glory and the Dream, and it's kind of, I don't like to compare dyer colorways to each other because I think it's reductive and it doesn't celebrate the uniqueness of each dyer's colorway. But for convenience's sake, I think I will say it's kind of more of a pink Duomo from Explorer Knits, which I do have Duomo, but actually that's a good idea. I'll compare it. So this is Duomo by Explorer Knits. You can see the green bits, but also it does have more pink bits as well. And obviously they are very different. If Duomo was going to be more green tinted, Knox yarn, The Glory and the Dream is more pink tinted. I'm going to shove that back while I'm there. Or am I just hang out? Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so this is on a different base than most indie dyers. For those of you who weren't in the know about the yarn industry, there was a pretty incredible yarn shortage that happened as a result of the pandemic. Just all regular processes were interrupted, mills were shut down, trucks couldn't move the same way because people were sick. It was just crazy. And the entire world uses one global wool supply, which sounds ridiculous and made up, but it's real. And that was exacerbated, the shortage was exacerbated by a very, very big sale you may have heard of, done by Brooklyn Tweed. I think they were offering like 15 or 20% on all of their yarns for like a month, maybe longer. And that depleted the global supply like so fast. And again, it sounds ridiculous. And if you don't care about the yarn industry, like, I'm sorry you even had to listen to 10 seconds of it. I hope you fast forwarded. I think there's a fast forward button. But anyway, so a lot of dyers have had to kind of experiment with new bases. You may have seen that a lot coming from indie dyers. You may have been like, why are they all trying to find different bases? And that's why, because you can't get the traditional bases that most indie dyers used up to this point, which is either 100% superwash or 75-25. That's why you've seen an influx of people using 80-20, which I personally, 80-20 is not my favorite. If it's from a dyer I really love, like Stress Knits, I'll do it, but it's not my favorite. Anyway, that's just a long way to say this is one of those unique bases. I'm not sure if she did it because of the pandemic. She may have offered it before, but I'm really excited about this base because it's 20% mohair, 55% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. So it's durable, but it also has a sheen from the mohair. Like, you see that slight halo? Yeah, I love it. I'm really excited about it. I have 3. That's enough for a sweater. I just haven't found the right sweater because I'm obsessed with this yarn. It just takes a spot of honor in my cubby. And I'll reorganize all this later once I'm not on screen because of reasons like that. I can't put away my yarn gracefully. I can't do anything gracefully. Yeah. Then we have here, I still want to technically call it indie because this is before Madeline Tosh had to sell her company to Jimmy Bean's Wool. And if you guys don't know about that, if you don't care about that, please zone out and just look at the yarn. But Jimmy Bean's bought Madeline Tosh's company because Madeline had to, step back because of her health. And so I don't really want to call Madeline Tosh indie anymore, but this was pre that. So I still consider it slightly indie, even though she was one of the biggest operations out there. And you can see these gorgeous speckles in it. And obviously this is called Anime Dreams. And this colorway really reminds me of the 90s anime cartoons Sailor Moon, which is like one of my formative pop culture experiences growing up. My mom had many stories of me just like screaming Sailor Moon's catchphrases like in public. Yeah. But it's a really nostalgic colorway, and obviously it's pink and speckled, so I love it. I initially thought that was going to be a Jessie May ripple crop top, the fingering weight one. I still am leaning towards that direction, but I haven't committed, obviously, because it's still one on the scheme. Okay, and I talked about Autumn and Indigo lots last week because 2 of the sweaters that I showed you guys or were wearing had incorporated one of her yarns. I will say she has transitioned to more of a natural rustic aesthetic. She's gravitated away from the speckles. This yarn is from back when she still offered pre-order speckled yarn. She doesn't do that anymore, so don't go to her website and be like, why don't you have it? She doesn't have it. But I really do, I love her color work, her speckle work. It's very delicate, very soft. I initially got these to become the original sorrel. I was going to hold it with mohair and kind of ombre the mohair itself and leave this as the main color. But because Autumn and Indigo speckles are so hard to come by now, like they feel so special, that I worry that the mohair ombre look will actually mask the beautiful speckle work. So I think I want to find a pattern that just leaves them as it is so it can protect the integrity of the delicate speckle work. But it will become something beautiful one day. Okay. This one is a little bit more creative for me. And you're probably thinking like, what is she talking about? Look at that color. It's just like pale pink. It is pale pink. This colorway is called Powder Puff from Life in the Long Grass. Life in the Long Grass. I think they're an Irish company. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. All of this is ad lib, you guys. I try to film all this in one go because I'm not great at video editing. But anyway, so pale pink, boring, right? Except not, because even if I didn't show what I'm about to show you, it wouldn't be boring. It's very beautiful. It's like pale pink, but close to lilac. It's very stunning. Anyway, it's because I'm holding a double with this. Ah! Yeah, I'll only hold one so I can actually like maneuver it around. So this is called Osha Pom-Pom, and it's literally just a pom-pom yarn. I think there is one right there. Yeah, you can see, so it's the pom-poms are interspersed throughout, and the idea is that it peeks through when you hold it double with a regular yarn, and to create a fun pom-pommy texture. And it looks so delicate and feminine and cute. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I got this at Blazing Needles. They carry it. You can also find it at other yarn stores as well, I know. But it is made in Japan, so it was kind of, it was just lucky that Blazing Needles had it because I really wanted it for a long time. But don't you think it'll be cute held together? Like, super cute? Yeah, I'm really excited. So that's what that's gonna be. For that pattern, the pattern idea for that, it's going to be probably just a classic raglan from Cozy Classic Raglan from Jessie May. I adore Jessie May, obviously, but I'll probably just use that and add the pom-poms. This brings me now to stress knits, and I told you guys I just have a couple stress knits quantities. At least in this cubby, I have other cubbies with her yarn. But this is one of her more recent colorways. This is called Supermarket Flowers, and it's a fun bright pink, but not glaringly pink, if that makes sense. And there is speckles on it, so obviously you know it's for me because it's speckled. And the speckles really, there's a beautiful depth of color in the speckle choices she made. Like, you could see the bright pink, the blues and greens, and the golds. I think the golds are my favorite, the fact that it's kind of rose gold. As you can tell with my oat sweater that I showed you guys earlier, rose gold is kind of my jam these days. Okay, so that's stress knits, the colorway Supermarket Flowers. It's stunning. Just get in there. And pardon me, guys. Again, the weather is just messing me all up. This is stress knits again. I should show you her logo label because her logo is actually super cute. But the colorway, in case you didn't already see it, this one is Prudence, and the middle one is Dahlia. Okay, it's really pretty. Dahlia, it's kind of it's a dark red, almost brown, so it straddles the line between a brown and a burgundy really well. And I have a whole sweater quantity of this in worsted, actually. I should have showed you that, because I'm trying to diversify my palette, obviously, because I have so much pink, I have so much neutral speckle that I don't just want to wear that. And this is a really great way to add some brown to someone, me, who wears nothing brown. But anyway, this color, Prudence, it's so beautiful. Like, it's a lilac-y base with these stunning purple, pink, brown, orange speckles on it. Like, it's so beautiful. I got this to become a Miss Serena tee by Caitlin Hunter or Boylan Knitworks. I'm not 100% sure that's what it's going to be anymore. I just haven't made up my mind. Meanwhile, it sits in my stash, looking very good. Okay, so that's the two stress knits that I have in my favorite cubby. It's just all gonna fall. It all fell. You didn't see it, but it all fell all over me. And I can show you now the Wandering Flock. The Wandering Flock is the rose gold yarn for my oat sweater, and this one, the Wandering Flock, is actually titled Rose Gold, and I'm excited about it because I matched my nails. Do you see that? I hope you guys appreciate that because these nails took like a really long time to dry for some reason. Anyway, Rose Gold. She doesn't carry a lot of merino nylon. Most of her fingering is offered in the single ply, and I personally don't like single ply. I just don't like working with it. I don't like the feel of it. It's just a personal preference, nothing against it. But anyway, the only way she offered rose gold and merino nylon was in a sock set. So I ordered 3 sock sets. It came with these little sock sets, and it's super cute, yeah. But I don't make socks. I'm gonna save these minis for color work. Like, that's the benefit of minis, like color work, right? Especially for me who does things so often like that. But I really am just obsessed with this color, and it does match my nails, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. And then the piece de resistance of Wandering Flock yarn. Yes, look at it. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Like, it's mohair, obviously. You don't get this kind of fluff from anything else that I've seen. But this is called Holograph Dreams. If you aren't already familiar, this is probably one of her most famous, and for good reason, yarns, because it's my actual favorite. Like, look at that. Geraldine posted on her grid recently, she reposted someone's finished sweater in this, and they did a cable sweater holding it just single, like just single ply, or not, single strand mohair, and it looks stunning. Like, the color of this knit up is even more beautiful than you could imagine. Like, I'm obsessed. I desperately want a garment in this, obviously, but I kind of just want to leave it in my stash just as art, because this is art. Like, at this point, like, yeah, so beautiful. And the last skein I'll show you, it's kind of an oddball because I don't know what it is. It's this beautiful skein I got from my friend Nicole from Australia. When she sent it and I received it, it did have a label, but I had to leave town shortly, very, very shortly after I got it. And my dog got mad that I left town and like ate the label. Like, she literally like tore it up and ate the chunks of the label. So I don't know what it is. And I think there's, from the judge of the feel and the sheen, it's either it has a good amount of silk or even bamboo in it. Like, it's very high sheen. So it's a mystery. I think it'll be a contrast color for a sweater at some point, but it's so beautiful. And the fact that it's a mystery somehow adds more to its beauty, you know? So thanks to my dog for ruining that and also making it better somehow, I guess. But anyway, that's really it for the pink cubby. I have more like random project bags full of yarn that will eventually become something. I definitely have more yarn, but this is already like a 45+ minute video. If I showed you my entire stash, it probably, in terms of time, it would have been like the Hobbit trilogy, and of just me like picking up yarn and showing it to you. So I hope that you guys aren't disappointed by the content. I hope it wasn't boring. Like I said, if you were bored and you did request to see my stash, that's what you were asking for. I showed you my stash, okay? At least part of it. Like, if you didn't like it, you know, we can just say my bad and we'll do other things. Sorry if I got defensive. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at me because I couldn't think of a creative, fun way to show you my stash. Anyway, next time I'm hoping to show you guys my aggressive knitting, and I don't think it's as aggressive as maybe some people imagine. I just knit pretty fast. I can pick and throw. It depends on what mood I'm in. So maybe the throwing looks more violent than it means to me. I don't know. You guys can be the judge of that. Hopefully next week. I'm not sure if I'll do a video every week. I wanted to today, like I said, just because the weather made me really bummed out and I don't want to be bummed out. So I hope you like this video. I hope that you, wherever you are, you enjoy your day, whether it's gloomy out or it's beautiful out. And even if it's just for a few stitches, I hope you can take the time to knit something. Just relax and unwind. And as always, you can reach me on Instagram or in the comments. I did respond to every comment that I got, so yeah. But always available on Instagram, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And I hope it wasn't a disappointment. But I will see you guys next time.